Hello, and thank you for joining us for our Magic for Schools for Teen and Kids, our class on balanced emotions and balanced hormones. So we're going to be going on a beautiful journey today to look at the effect of quantum light technology on the endocrine system of our teens and the link between hormones and emotions, emotions and hormones, and how quantum light technology can benefit the hormonal system and the emotional system. So welcome. And we've got here a light code as well. And later on, we will be doing a beautiful visualization with another light code. This light code here supports sensitivity to light. Okay, so this is our journey, looking at color frequency and looking at light codes, their effect on the full body system. So the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual body of our teens, and how they can balance out the endocrine system and the emotional system. Okay. And please feel free to ask questions. And obviously, if you're on the recording, welcome as well. And please leave any comments that you wish. So let's have a quick look at our endocrine system. So this is our system, hormonal system made up of glands. We've got hormones, which are chemical messengers, which are sent via the bloodstream. And these messages, these signals, go to cells in certain organs. So it's a very targeted process. And this is why hormones help control so much of our homeostasis, of our balance, such as mood, growth, development, metabolism, and reproduction. So let me just move this over here a little bit. So in the base of the brain, we've got the pituitary gland. So this is the master gland. So the messages come from the hypothalamus in the brain and the pituitary gland and are sent to all other of the glands. So we've got the thyroid, and we often hear about the thyroid. If you have thyroid problems, we can often feel sluggish because that deals with the metabolism. Then we've got also the adrenal glands. We've got the testes and the ovaries, we said the thyroid as well. So all these glands have a specific role and are sent messages that cause a reaction within the glands for them to secrete hormones to increase our temperature, decrease our temperature, and they help control all of these factors as below here: the mood, the growth, development, metabolism, that's very difficult for me to say, and reproduction. Metabolism, okay, that word. Okay, so the main thing with emotions and hormones is there is a two-way relationship. So emotions can influence hormones, and hormones play a role in emotions. So we'll have a look at an example of how emotions can influence hormones. So a very common one is the fight, flight, or freeze response. So fear, when we're in fear and acute stress, so these emotions of fear and stress can trigger this response. So this is a response that we associate sometimes with a physical threat. Like, for example, in caveman days, you'd be out walking and a saber-toothed tiger would be coming out of a bush. That immediately cascades down certain actions from your brain. So what happens is the amygdala in our brains, so in each of our hemispheres, the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere, it's a little almond-shaped amygdala, and that is responsible for detecting, experiencing emotions, like detecting threats and rewards. So the amygdala would detect that threat and signal the hypothalamus in the brain. And the hypothalamus is the command center, and then it all goes, structured downwards, we've got the nervous systems activated, and you may have heard of the sympathetic nervous system being activated. So that's when we need certain, our body needs certain processes, needs certain abilities, and the adrenal gland is also activated. So this adrenal gland, it has been told by the pituitary gland, the hypothalamus pituitary gland, adrenal gland, to release adrenaline and cortisol. So we often hear that adrenaline, we often know about adrenaline, experience adrenaline, and we often hear about cortisol, that it's the stress hormone. So we've got this whole cascade of, from the nervous system and from the endocrine system. You've got adrenaline and cortisol, which are increasing your heart rate, increasing your blood pressure, increasing your rate of breathing. It's basically everything ready for you to go, to have that response, whether that's going to be fight, flight, or freeze. So all your muscles are ready. However, this also, nowadays, when there's no saber-toothed tigers, there are obviously physical threats, but a lot of the threats to us now are emotional threats. So things that cause us anxiety. So for our teens, it may be having to give a pleasant presentation in class. It may be doing an exam. It may be the anxiety and stress around being on social media, what people are thinking of them. So all these types of threats are still perceived as threats, and still cause this cascade of emotions. So cascade of hormones. So this can produce these physical representations, the increased heart rate, but also the emotional intensity of anxiety, the freezing, like completely sort of avoiding things that you don't want to face. So all of this is a process in the body that can have far-reaching effects for our teens. And this being in this prolonged state of anxiety, this being in this sympathetic nervous system, let's say it's like let's call it a bubble, being in that bubble, that can have serious effects on the dysregulation of certain thyroid, for example, the thyroid function, and effects on energy levels. So normally within the saber-toothed tiger world, we would, after the threat had passed, we would go back into the parasympathetic nervous system activation. So that would then calm us down and everything would get back to normal. But often getting back into that state can be difficult nowadays with more emotional type threats. Okay. So please ask if you have any questions. It's yeah, that's no problem. So that's the emotions, the fear, stress, causing an emotional response, which is it intensifies certain processes in the body, perhaps feelings of aggressiveness, etc. But the same hormones can also, that are changing the body in the growth of our teens, are also shaping the structure of the brain. So we have the brain, we have development in the brain of the amygdala, and we know already that the amygdala supports with experiencing emotions, and that's where the threat response is, the threat response. So we have development in that side of the brain, which can lead to emotions being quite volatile, intense, and fluctuating. So out of the blue, our teen can suddenly become cross because we've asked them something and it's hit a nerve, and that can trigger that response is more easily triggered. It's more overactive in comparison with the rest of the balance within the brain. And because there is a slower development in the brain linked with emotional regulation, that emotional regulation can be very much out of balance. So The prefrontal cortex is the part of the brain that has impulse control, executive functioning, all these processes that help put the brakes on these intense emotions and volatile outbursts. But that doesn't develop in our brains until fully develop until around the age of 25. So so this is a surprise. So in our teens, it's no wonder that with this overactive amygdala and this developing prefrontal cortex, that emotions can be really volatile and really fluctuating. So it is a completely natural process of the growth and development of their brain and their body reacting to threats, to perceived threats, with a certain cascade of hormones which increase their heart rate and their blood pressure, etc. Okay, wonderful. So how can we support our teens is the main question with this, now that we kind of understand what's going on in their bodies, or how can we support them? So co-creating with quantum light technology is a really beautiful way to support our teens. Now, there are other ways, of course, but we're focusing on these ways today. We'll just have a look, first of all, at color frequency. So we've got color, so we've got light. So I'll just talk a little bit about quantum light. So we've got light. It's made up of millions and millions and millions of tiny invisible particles, which are called photons. So photons carry two types of energy: electric, so like electric energy, and magnetic energy. And when they interact, they become electromagnetic energy, and they bring light and they bring warmth. So when we see the sun, we see light, and then we feel the warmth. So where we get color from is that each photon has a specific amount of energy. It vibrates at a specific speed that determines the color of light it produces. So we can see here that a higher frequency, a higher vibration, we've got the kind of purple, blue, green colors, and then the lower frequency, the sort of yellow, orange, and red colors. So working with colors, there has been some scientific research around colors and the effect of frequency on the body, but we're also going to look at colors in a more etheric sense as well. But first of all, the color frequencies, and intuitively we know that colors like green are very soothing and very relaxing. So there has been scientific research in this field, and green light is good for stabilizing cortisol levels, anxiety, reducing anxiety, and for the circadian rhythm, so the sleep-wake cycle, and regulating mood. And in terms of, in spiritual terms as well, green is very much a healing color, and other colors are kind of colors from archangel colors as well. So there's that aspect as well. And there's full spectrum light as well. People, if you can get outside before 10 o'clock in the morning, you can absorb full spectrum light. That's that beautiful light, and it's very, very balancing and supports serotonin levels in the brain. So that's a neurotransmitter as well. We hear often about red. I remember years ago in McDonald's, for example, it was all red in there, the fast food restaurant, all painted red, because red was associated with stimulating adrenaline. So you'd feel rushed and like, oh, we have to eat quickly, next people in. But there is some research that suggests that it can support the sleep-wake cycle, the circadian alignment, and it can support, promote calm in the evening. So there is some support that color can support with that. And blue, for example, is a higher frequency color that's associated often with calmness. We think of the blue of the skies, of the seas. But in the evenings, that blue light can suppress melatonin production, which is needed for sleep. So it's all about kind of working intuitively with color, co-creating with color, sensing what intuitively feels right, what color feels right to co-create with, and also the colors of the archangels, the rays that some of the archangels come on, for example, Archangel Metatron with the orange gold, and that's very much about supporting ascension as well. So there's that whole level that you can co-create with as well. So it's on multi-leveled and multi-layered. Okay, so we're looking a little bit about how you can some ideas for co-creating with color, but let's have a look at light codes as well. So light codes are like QR codes, so they hold information and data through the medium of light, and they hold beautiful healing frequencies which bypass the mind and speak directly to the heart. And you can often feel these at a cellular level in your body. And often when you're co-creating with light codes, you'll want to place them somewhere specifically on your body that will feel right for you. So the light codes are our healing energies woven into light itself. So they're waves of beautiful energy that connect us with cosmic intelligence, earth intelligence, and they often come in sacred geometric shapes, but not always. And that form as well gives a beautiful structure. So there is a light code behind here as well, which is one for, so the one below is heart consciousness, and this one here is soul connection. So that's linking the two to support a beautiful connection with your soul. So sometimes they can have this, sometimes they have beautiful light language down here as well, language of the light, and it's potential waiting to be unlocked, because they can come, light codes can come into your field and just stay there and until you're ready to receive them. And another quality of light is that, of quantum light, the photons, is that many people used to think that they just came in the waves, but then scientists discovered what's called the observer effect. So when you watch the waves, when you watch the light coming through, there was an experiment with two little slits, and light was shone through and was looked at on the wall. And when it was just not being observed, it came in waves, and that's what was expected. But when it was observed, it changed, just like it was into little particles. So very focused little particles of light. So this was called the observer effect. It was like it was, and with light codes and light language, our higher self is the observer. So when something comes like into our field, when we look at a light code, co-create with a light code, that comes to our higher self, is received by our higher self, and then we are given exactly what we need from that light code. So this means that different people may receive different things from a light code, or you may receive different things at different times, depending on what you need at that particular time. So your higher self is there, is that observer, and giving you exactly what you need. I'll just read the chat. Okay, that's a really good question. Thank you. So how do you receive them? Is it a proactive thing that you observe the codes and ask them to drop into your body? Okay, so you can receive them if they're there here, in front of you. You can receive them through your heart, through your vision. You can ask for beautiful intention for them to come into your energy fields to support you, to help you with a specific thing that you need. You can, as we just talked about the higher self, you can ask your higher self, you can ask your soul family, please, I wish to co-create with the beautiful light codes. Please, can you support me in the way that I need through this light code? So you can ask in a targeted way for something, but then you can also ask to receive light codes during meditation. You can ask to receive light codes to support you with an aspect that you're going through in life. So let's say you're anxious, or our teens are anxious, you can ask for light codes to support with anxiety, and receive those into your field. Does that make sense, Emma? Yeah. Okay, lovely. That's a really good question. Yeah. So we know that the light codes, they have a beautiful impact on our four-body system. So they can impact all layers because they bypass the mind. Because when we look at a light code, we don't have the translation written there. So sometimes when we have a translation like, then our mind, let's say we have the word love there, and on the light code love may mean different things to different people, and people may have different experiences with love, so the mind may get involved. But with light codes, light language, they come straight through, bypassing the mind, and that's why they're so healing, because they talk directly to your soul. Okay, so right, so this is the light code we're going to co-create with in a minute, and this is one for emotional intensity relief. So color is also very important in this one. So this color, the colors here are of a rose, a very close-up picture of a rose, and so they have their own frequency, and the frequency of the flower as well behind that. So this light code, so co-creating with light codes, you can look at them, meditate with them, you can draw them in the air, you can move and dance with them, you can just sit with them, place them under your pillow at night, have them on your phone, however you feel to co-create with them. So if you would like, I would love to invite you for a short visualization with this light code, with a short meditation to support that emotional intensity relief. Okay, so just for heads up, this will include light language as well. And yes, wonderful. So if you're ready, here we go. So inviting you to just relax and gaze very, very softly, with a soft, beautiful gaze at the light code. Breathing through your heart, allowing your heart space to open and any thoughts to drift away. Just receiving this light code beautifully with your heart. Inviting you to find a spot on the light code where you are drawn into to enter its field. So this may be through the center, maybe through one of the spheres around the edge. Just allow your gaze just to move around, and then to focus in on one point within the light code, and setting a beautiful intention to receive support with emotional intensity relief. Futatayana. So allow your gaze to start to soften. Shutututu. As you invite the light code into your field. Shutukukorimiata. Shutukoryatata. Allowing it to sweep through. Shukukorimianata. Entering each of the cells of your body. Shutukukuko iatata iakakaramana. Shutututu shur, and allowing it to expand outwards. Shukukorimia into your emotional body. Shutukukorimianata. Shitakaka. Now some of you may feel the codes raining down on you, or sure, swimming, almost swimming in light codes. Sure, clearing your emotional field. Just allow the light code to move into your mental body as well. And perhaps you feel it in a certain part of your body. Beautiful, beautiful, and into your spiritual body. Just feeling your spiritual body, unfolding your spiritual body, allowing it to stretch and to move. So you are in a beautiful, beautiful space with this light code, beautiful light code, permeating through all of your bodies. Just allowing it to do its work, to support you. Sensing where you feel any twinges, and allowing those to open. Beautiful, beautiful. Allowing it to settle in a space in your body, in your fields. Bringing yourself back to your heart space. And some of you may sense it touching each of your beautiful chakras. Activating new chakras. Beautiful. And some of you may sense a beautiful cloak like a blanket or cloak of shimmering light, of this light code, there to offer you nurture and reassurance and peace at times of turbulence. Some of you may sense a beautiful staff of light with this light code coded within the staff, so you can support your teens, your children, your beautiful children, with their emotional regulation. And being within your emotional regulation, Shukuko supports your children within theirs. And if you wish, you can connect with the higher self of your beautiful teen, your beautiful child. Or standing in your space of emotional regulation. connected within the Shotoyana power and beauty of this light code, which is open for you for connection. Shukoko with your child, with your team. Shaya Maya Shoryakara. Beautiful, beautiful. Some of you may be sensing feelings of waves of love coming through your system, allowing it to come through your systems. Coming back to your inner calm, your inner power. Beautiful. We're sending so much love and gratitude to this beautiful light code, this beautiful friend. Beautiful. Thank you. Just inviting you to just breathe through your heart. Spend a few moments just coming back to your body. Breathing through your heart. Allowing yourself to ground in a way that you like. Perhaps moving your feet or your fingers. Just bringing yourself back with your breath. Knowing that this light code is within your field. Should you wish to, or to invite this in further. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. It's wonderful. So I'd love to know how you're feeling. Oops. Go back to that.
I felt that was very expansive. It felt so my mother died a week ago, so I'm going through like a lot of emotions. So this was absolutely perfect. I can't tell you. I was just like, oh, how amazing. Thank you.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Emma. I'm so sorry about your mother. Thank you. That's beautiful.
It was her time.
Yeah. Beautiful. So that's wonderful. And everyone listening to the recording as well, please share with me how this went for you. It's very, very beautiful, very powerful. And yeah, thank you for that co-creation. Beautiful. So just a few more slides about how the next step, so how we can empower our teens because we know they're going through all these changes and growth, and how we can support them. So a very important thing is to validate their emotions, and we probably do this anyway, but validating that they have these strong emotions that maybe we can't understand why they're so strong and so intense. So validating their feelings is really important. And then also discussing changes in their brain structure and the organization of their brain, their hormones as well, so that they don't feel alone. They don't feel that it's them flaring up in anger. So at the moment, my son is a tween, so he's almost in the teen, but he has these outbursts of emotions, and afterwards he's like, "Oh, Mum, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened." So basically, it's like, and so actually saying to our teens and tweens, this is perfectly natural. It is the way that our bodies are working and our brains are working to keep us safe, to keep us balanced. So, and knowing that, they know that it's not them just suddenly going mad. So that's really important. And then you can, if you wish, you can work with color frequency. And it's very much as a sovereign thing for your teen, trusting them that they know what colors they would like to co-create with, and to be just to be mindful that trying to support them to go outside into the green, perhaps blue by the sea, walks in nature, that connection with Gaia, that has a very healing and stabilizing benefit and grounding benefit. And then you can also co-create with light codes that support emotional regulation, and that sort of spark up their self-love and their self-worth, because this is something that can be a bit choppy at times, especially if you feel that you're outbursting with emotions all the time. It can decrease your self-worth. And so working with all light codes are of love and light. All of the light codes that we're working with are love of light. And so co-creating with these with your teens is really a beautiful thing to do. I've got some light codes on my website, and there are light codes. I know Gabby's got some beautiful light codes as well. So that is very much something that can really support your teen with their whole 4-body system. And at the end of the day as well, it's giving them the confidence to know in themselves that they know what's best for them and how they can help their 4-body system, how they can help themselves physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Because as we know, we all have the answers within. Sometimes we just need a little bit of guidance and support, to get there. And this also helps shape a more holistic modern world. So I'm hoping this will, many of us are hoping that light codes become part of normal life, just normal life, or mainstream at some point, very soon. So that was my class. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me either below or at Magic School for Teens and Kids. And I'd be so happy to share with you some light codes and share with you some resources that you can support your teen with and co-create with your children and your teens. So yeah, please send me a message and I can answer any questions that you have. So are there, just to check if there are any questions? If not, it's fine.
Can I ask a question? Would you, when we look at the light codes that are on your website or with Gabby, would you suggest we put them in front of our teens and say which one, like allow them to follow their intuition, or find one which is appropriate for where they're at from our point of view?
Okay, yeah, that's a really good question. So I'll answer it. I've started up with let's say a bank of light codes, which to support with certain aspects and certain challenges like overwhelm, anxiety, transitions. So these light codes are targeted, but they're not, but teens are encouraged to select which ones they feel that they need, because they work on multidimensionally on different levels and different layers. So you can within a certain you can either within a certain focus area, for example, anxiety or stress, you can show your teens the light codes that are there within that focus, or you can allow them just to flick and to see what they themselves resonate with. Okay. So that they can choose on a level which one they're attracted to, and it may be interesting to see which one they are drawn to. But feel free to contact me, and I can support you with some guidance as well, and support you with some specific light codes for certain aspects. And of course, we've got general light codes other light codes as well that they may be drawn to because they contain a message that their soul needs or wants to hear. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. So I'll just say thank you very much, and I'll stop with the recording. So it's been lovely to co-create with you, and please do connect and let me know how you are and how it all, if you need any support. And I'll see you again soon.